Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. I feel like the camera is flipped. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Am I back on? Can you see me? I know. You know what happened is let me know if I'm back on. Okay. I want to try and unmirror my image and when I hit back, it like backed out of the whole StreamYard. So let's see. Let me see. Does it seem blurry? Let me share it to the group real quick. Okay. Okay, well, off to a great start. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm still not 100%, but I feel like my voice is coming back and I don't feel quite as congested. But I still have this unproductive cough, so I apologize ahead of time if I cough. Okay, today we are going to make these Country Birdhouse treat boxes. These are like, they're made to kind of fit the Hershey Nuggets. They're made to fit these. I'll show you. So these are great for, if you need a favor for something. They will be pretty on your Easter table, as long as you don't have dogs that could get into the chocolates. But look, these fit 5 Hershey Nuggets perfectly. Hi, Diana. I wanted to make something for Mother's Day with this. That was kind of my thinking. It's why I bought this set to begin with. I thought we could do a Mother's Day project with this. But when I got it, I don't know, this seemed a little bit smaller than what I thought. But I mean, I still think it works. It's got a lot of uses. I tried a lot of different shapes for the boxes. My original idea was to have, remember when I made those um, boxes? I'm trying to remember what was on the box. Um, but it was a box that had a lid. And you could put the lid on it. Kind of like, I mean, this is a big version, but something like this. I was thinking to do a box like this, a little bit smaller, and put this on. But the birdhouse was a little bit too small to do that. So I thought something like this. This was kind of my original idea, and then put this on. You could do something like this. So instead of this shape inside, you could do this shape. But if you want to cover the whole box, you're going to have to put a lot of greenery and such on these parts so you don't see the box. But this is what we're going to make today, is this shape. You could put in it whatever you want. Here's a couple ideas that we had. I was thinking, my mom likes these kind of lip balm, so I thought that might be nice for Mother's Day. I mean, obviously I wouldn't just get her this, but that would be a nice box to put this in, or some gum with it, because she likes both of those things. Also, you could potentially, if it's say for an Easter, something for an Easter, you could just put money in there. Right, my nephews would like something like that, although I'm not sure they would really love a birdhouse, but. And then I was going to put some nail polish, but I forgot to get a bottle of nail polish to try that out. But whatever, you can put in whatever you want. Also, you can make the box whatever size you want. Once you see how we make it, you can just change the dimensions. Okay. I also thought, I wanted to show you what just a card looked like, because this is beautiful for, um, for a card front too. So this is a really beautiful set. I didn't use obviously all of the things on this one because you don't really get to use the little post and such on this, but I did use it on the card here. Okay, so let's see. Hey, Brian, it's been a long time. Are you working on the YouTube hop this month? I just recorded my video today. I gotta edit it, but I did get it recorded for this month. Hope you're feeling better. Okay, are we gonna get started? Let me talk a little bit about this set. This set is in the current catalog. This catalog goes through the end of this month. Okay, a lot of these things are on the last chance sale. In fact, I didn't check to see if the birdhouse was on last chance. I'm gonna check to see. Yeah, okay, so these are on the last chance sale. So they won't be coming back in the new catalog, okay? It also says that the bundle is low inventory. So if you do like these, I would get it right away because it's just while supplies last. Okay, and this is something gorgeous for Mother's Day. I think this is a really gorgeous Mother's Day card or just a spring card in general. Okay, so it's part of this collection, the Country Wood Suite. And this is a, I don't know if they call it a mega suite, but it's like a bonus suite because it's two suites together that work together. But here's some samples. This is kind of like um, the card that I was working on. But see, this is the double suite, so it's got the country woods and the country flowers. So you've got the country wood paper here, and then this is the country lace. I did do a project with the country lace. This is what I did some of Michaela's wedding pictures with, if you remember those. So this is a really nice set of paper to have because you always like need wood grain. Every once in a while you're like, oh, I wish I had such and such a wood for this project. So it's great to have these on hand. So here's one. I think that's that same one. This is a fun one here. I really like this blue. You can see I've used a lot of this already because I've had this most of the year. This is a nice dark wood. And then I like this small wood print. So you can see it's got a lot of big planks, small planks, dark wood, light wood. This actually is very close to the new floor in my basement. And this is like the paint's coming off. Here's another pretty one. This is probably my favorite print. Okay, so that's the wood. And then the country lace, I've used so much of it, but I'll show you what I have. This is pretty blue, and you can see the lace here. This is like almost like denim design. This one's got a pretty lace feature, and then a gray kind of fabric looking material. This is pretty, kind of an off-white, and then a gray ticking. I don't have a lot of this one, but this is actually what I did the birdhouse with. You can see the base here, and petal pink, and then the denim. And then this one, I don't have a lot, but it's petal pink dots, and then the denim kind of stripes. No, you can put your projects the whole month. I go back at the end of the month and I um look at all of the posts and add your name to it. So yeah, you can do it at the end of the month. I don't think I showed this one. Gray lace, and then this pretty off-white striping. I think that's all of the designs. So this is a country lace. So these are meant to kind of go together. And then you have the stamp set and dies. You remember for this one, I used this. We made the kind of still life cards using these with the frames around it. And the frames, I used the wood from the wood grain paper. If you remember those. I got so many. Might have to come in here and get some of these flowers for today's project. But this is the one we're going to use today. Oh, and I didn't realize this has got a little twig that you can have the bird standing on. That's kind of cute. So this is the Country Woods. The total thing is the Country Woods collection. The paper is Country Lace and Country Wood. And this is Country Birdhouse, and this is Country Flowers. If you type in country, you might find all of these things. And then you got the Smoky Slate Pearls. I do have those. I think these are smoky. Yeah. Yeah. These ones are a little bit dimensional. So those ones do have some dimension. They're pearls. Okay, are we ready to start the project? Okay, first let's just cut out the pieces. We're gonna make this, okay? But I wanted to show you what it's like on the card. So if you don't want to make a box, you can still do this with on a card. Okay, the first thing we need to do is cut the birdhouse front. Let me show you these dies because they are little, there's a lot of pieces to it. So this is the base one, and that's what I'm going to cut the base piece out of. So this is what I cut, the pink, the petal pink here was cut using this one. I don't have enough of the petal pink. I was thinking about making it maybe this color or this one. Maybe this one. I don't know. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. I don't know. I'm second guessing myself. I think I'm gonna do this one. Okay. So to fit into my cutter, let's see, how big is this? 4. So I'm gonna cut this 3.5 by 4.5. Okay. And then for the back, you need 2 pieces. I put these back to back, and I'm using the wood grain. Okay. So I'm going to use this one. So why don't we'll cut this one out too. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to make, let's see if I can do these at the same time. See if that works. I hope it's not going to end up backwards. Okay, and then the one last piece. Here I cut a hole out of this piece, and I wanted it to look like it's open on the inside, right? Like it's dark in there or whatever. So I back this one with black. So you can kind of see that my backing piece is black. So then you'll need another piece of black. Okay, so 4 pieces. So this thing is made of 4 different pieces. Okay. It gives it a little bit extra strength too. But it's really needed because our paper is double-sided, and so you're going to have different wood grain or something on the back. So it might not look that great. Okay, so let's do the first piece. This is going to be the front. Obviously, if you're just doing the card front, you only need one of these. Okay, that's the front piece, and then the inside to make it look dark. You could choose also just to do a different color. It doesn't have to be black. Also, if you're not cutting the hole out of the front, then you could just do another piece that was this color. But see how you've got the different gray stripe on the back? That shows if you don't double it. That would show here if you don't double it. So now by putting the black, it kind of covers that up. Okay? Now let's do the wood pieces. This is for the back of the birdhouse. Another thing I was thinking of doing was I've seen people make like a roof for this, kind of make it like a gingerbread kind of house. That was a little more engineering than I was wanting to get into, so I did not do that. But that was another possibility, and I did look into it, but it was just too complicated. Okay, now we've got our 4 bases done. So this is going to be the back, and then this is the front. And now you have these 2 trim pieces. Okay, and this is going to be the front, so I think I might use that same wood trim that I used in the back. Let's see. I have this piece left. Now the trim piece is the one at the bottom. One at the bottom here is this one. Okay. And then this one here is the bigger piece here. Okay. So these 2 I'm going to do out of the wood grain. Cut those out. Okay, so I've got my 2 trim pieces. It's going to go kind of there and there. And on this one, I did kind of a French vanilla lattice work there, and then I did, I think it's Misty Moonlight trim piece there, which are these 2 pieces. But I think for this one, because my house is already white, I'm not going to do the lace in white. I'm going to do the lace like this one here. Okay, so I use the blue. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to use this lace piece here. Does anybody have this Country Birdhouse set? Let me know if you do and if you've made something with it, or if you're making something with it right now. I've got this out. Okay. And now I'm going to cut the hole out of the birdhouse, this one. So for this one, I cut this out of here because I was going to double it up. You could, if you, let me show you how it cuts. I'm going to use the black to show you how it cuts and show you why you don't want to just cut a, think you can cut a black circle and put it onto the birdhouse because it cuts the center out also. So it makes it like a little donut. Okay. So if you want it the whole to be the whole thing, you have to cut it out of the bigger piece instead of just cutting a piece of black and adding it on. I'm still trying to figure out kind of why they did. I did do it like this on this one to show you kind of what it's like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take only my front piece here. And if you want, I would maybe, to help place it, just loosely put these pieces on so it gives you a kind of a guide. I mean, obviously we're not going to keep it, but it can show you how far down you want to put your hole. Okay, this gives us a good idea. So I'm going to put this like right there. Okay, good. I'm glad that this didn't make sense to you either, why it was like this. I'm not sure why it was like this. Because there's another size thing for the peg, right? So anyway, that's why I chose to do it this way. Because so now you see it, you're cutting through it. I thought maybe I was missing something. I'm sure that there was a reason for that, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, I think for right now we could put this away. Okay. D made tires for her house. That's a good idea. A very good idea. Okay, let me get a drink here for a second. Oh, I'm going on, I don't know, 10 days of having this. It's kind of getting annoying. Okay, so let's make the front. I'm going to adhere this down. And I would make sure that you get around the edges because you want it really to stick. And I'm even going to go the edges by where around where the hole is, because you don't want it to kind of gape. Okay, and then I'm going to stick it on here. And there we go. So now you can see it is a little bit more sturdy. And let's put the trim pieces on. And you can decorate this up as much or as little as you want to. You don't have to put the little lace piece down if you don't want to. I think I am going to try and make a gingerbread house at Christmas. So if you think you might want to try and make gingerbread houses out of this, get it now because it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone at Christmas time. Because our new catalog is going live May, I think it's the 6th. It's whatever that Tuesday is. There we go. So again, this varies a little bit. I could go back and if I wanted to cut another piece, I could probably cut this trim piece here because this is a third trim piece in white if I wanted to, put it there. But I like it like this. Okay, and then put the base down. Okay, there we go. Now on my card, just on the card, this piece here is 4 by 5 1/4, the blue, and this one is 3 3/4 by 5. And if you do it like that, see how the birdhouse is. If you do the little stand, if you do the little stand, you could see. I don't know. It doesn't fit across the whole card, so I trimmed off the bottom of that. So I don't know if you can tell, but I don't. Even if you don't. Even if you don't put these papers here, it doesn't fit totally on the card. I mean, barely. It just barely fits on there. So just FYI, if you add this, I did trim the bottom here. Okay, now let's do the back, and we're just going to do the same thing. And I want the dark wood to show, so I'm going to put the light wood face to face. Okay. And again, get right up against the edges. And this one, you don't have to worry about the hole, though. You don't have to put any tape in the center. Okay, and then just try and match these up as best as you can so that there's no white showing. There we go. And again, this makes it a little bit more sturdy. Okay, so we've got, the basic part of the birdhouse done. We'll decorate it in a minute. But now we need to make the box part. Who's looking forward to the box part? This would be a cute ornament. I feel like the camera's fuzzy, out of focus or something. But I don't want to touch anything because last time I did that, the screen went blank. So, oh, I forgot to click go live in Instagram. Okay, I'm going live now. Do you want to do the gingerbread house? Okay, well you guys have this one, so that's good. Or are you talking about the box? You've been waiting for the box. Okay. Here's what you need. You need a piece of paper that's 3.5 by 5.5. And I used, oh, and I forgot to get a piece. I used the brown that matched this. And the color on the wood grain, let's see if it tells you the colors here. Basic beige, basic gray, crumb cake, early espresso, gray granite, misty moonlight, peach pie, petal pink, pool party, smoky slate, wild wheat. So I think this is going to be early espresso. I think I actually used close to my heart mocha when I did mine. So that's okay. Early espresso is in the neutrals. Yeah, you can see I use mocha there. Okay, so let's cut a piece 3.5 by 5.5. So this is for the box part. 3.5. Was that 3.5? Yeah, 3.5 by 5.5. And this is if you want your box to be as tall as mine. See, my box in the end turned out to be 3 inches. And you need a 1/2 inch for folding for the bottom. So my box is 3 inches tall. Okay. Okay, now to score it, we need to score it at 1 inch, 2.5, 3.5, and 5. So 1 inch, 2.5, 3.5 by 5. So this piece is going to be what you overlap. Hi, Maria. We're making these birdhouse treat boxes. And right now we're making the box. Okay, does everybody got that? 1 inch, 2.5, 3.5, 5. Okay, then you need to turn it 90 degrees and score at 1/2. Okay. It's hard to see on here. That's why I made this. So if you want your box a different size, like I said, if you wanted to do a box that's wider, you know, all you have to do is make these wider. This, I have this at 1.5. If you want to make it, you know, taller, you can make these pieces be 2 inches or 2.5 inches, right? And then these pieces are 1 inch, so that's this side here and here. So if you want it, you know, wider this way, then you could, you know, make this, you know, 1.5 or whatever. Then you just would have to obviously scale your box to be bigger. Okay, so then let's look at how these are going to turn out. I'm going to fold along all of these score lines. And all of these are going to be a mountain fold. Okay, so you can kind of see how it's going to be. this part here is going to overlap a little bit. And then this side is 1.5, and then this side is 1 inch. Again, if you want to make it square, you can make it 1.5 all the way around. I made it this size so that it can fit the Hershey nuggets, right? Because these are about 1 by 1.5. So that's why they're that size. Okay, so now we got to worry about the bottom. So the part where you scored it at 1/2, let's make a mountain for that. Okay. Okay, so now all your pieces should be kind of folded. Set it down so that the 1/2 inch side is to the right, and then the 1/2 inch side here is on the bottom. Okay, and then this piece here, you can see we're going to remove. I'm going to take a cough drop here. Because I feel a coughing fit coming on. So we're going to remove this corner. So this corner is the part that was the 1/2 inch side and then the 1/2 inch side. Okay. Okay, and now these pieces, we're going to trim up to the score line. So we're going to cut along the score line up to the next score line. Okay. Now I'm going to put the bigger pieces sort of together, and they don't overlap too much, so I don't think we're going to need to even. Sometimes you snip the corners so that it folds nicely, but this one you don't really want to do that because they don't totally overlap with each other. Okay, so now let's put this together. I'm going to use some tear and tape. And then let's think about this. This flap is going to go under here. So I'm going to put the tear and tape on the outside of this 1/2 inch piece. I'm going to put another piece because I want it to be extra secure. So make sure you don't go over the fold. Okay. I'm going to burnish this down pretty good because we really want this to stick. Okay. Now when we fold this together, you want to really put this edge up against this folded edge. You don't have a lot of wiggle room with this, so okay, there we go. Perfect. And then I'm just going to kind of rub it to make sure it sticks good. Okay, that was really good. And now the bottom, I'm going to put the 2 short pieces in and then these pieces together. And I didn't do quite as a really good job about making this exactly a 1/2 inch. You can see on these ones, they comes together really nicely. This one, it's a little bit of a space, which if you're putting something in there that's like, that could fall out, like, I don't know, a necklace or something, you don't want that. Okay, but for what I'm putting in, that doesn't matter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tear and tape here and here. Okay, and you could have done this before you folded up, but I never remember which pieces, where to put things, and it's just easier for me to do it kind of as I'm going along. And you can always fold it down like this to kind of to burnish it. I'm gonna put another one. Rub it a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to do this side. I apologize, guys, for coughing in your ear. I can't stop it. Okay. And I'm taking this Claritin 24 hours, and it doesn't seem to last a 24 hours. Okay. Let's fold those in and then fold these over. Oh, I don't know. Probably not the smartest because now I've got some parts showing there. You know what I might do is let's cut a little piece. I'm going to cut a little piece and set it down in there. What do you think? So I'm going to make it, this is not part of the plan. This is just how I'm going to try and fix mine. So it's 1, so I'm going to make it just smaller than 1. And then 1.5, so just smaller than 1.5. There, then okay. So then let's put some tear tape on this side. Just to hold it down. There's always a fix, isn't there? So if you cut your piece a little bit too short, you can do this. Okay. And then what I would do is I set it down like this and then take like a bone folder or something and really push down on it so that it stays closed pretty well. Okay. Very nice. If you need to, you can add a little bit of green glue if you feel that would help. Okay. So now I put it together. So you could do it kind of either way, but I put it together like this with the smaller size onto here. Okay. So I'm gonna glue that to give me a little bit of time to have it to move around to get it just how I want it. Okay. So I know it's hard to see against this black, but let me see if I can put white paper under here. So you can see maybe a little bit better. Okay. So I'm putting the skinnier side, the 1-inch side here, but I do want to make it flush to the bottom. But you kind of want it to be centered. Oops. There we go. Okay. And then Put some glue here. And it doesn't matter really which side you put this because it's two-sided. I'm going to use the side I like better. I put it like this. But then I would stand it up to make sure that, and you want these parts to be flush so it stands up. And you also want these to kind of line up. You know what I mean? You want, that looks pretty good. Let me set it down on here and then look in the camera to see if it looks straight. Yeah, I think it looks pretty straight. Okay, now all we have to do is decorate it and then we're done. Wasn't that so easy? And it's so versatile because you can make this box whatever size you want in here. I made it so that you can't see it when you're looking, you know, straight down at it. You could, originally I wanted to make a box that was about, well, like here. Let's try this one. I mean, this one isn't bad. This one, I was going to go with this one. But you can see the brown like right here. So okay, so now let's get our pieces for decorating. We're going to set this aside and see what we need. So we need the bird and then the flower. So there is a stamp set that, you know, that goes with this. I mean, another thing you could have done was you could have just stamped this and then covered it in or whatever, but the dies make it really look nice. Okay, so let's stamp the bird. And then I just did one of these flowers here. On this one, I did do 2 flowers. Okay, so I've got some basic white here. And I'm going to use Memento. Do the little bird. Very cute. Let's put him away. I need to get more magnetic sheets for this. I know I have, I think, 2 somewhere. I couldn't find them off the top of my head, so I'm gonna wait till I move to my new craft space down in the basement and then buy a new box. Okay. So then we just need to cover these in. Let's make sure this is doing okay. Still standing. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what I'm using. I'm going to use light cherry cobbler for the flower. Light mossy meadow for the leaves. Light pumpkin pie for the beak and feet of the bird. And then bronze. There's a little twig-like thing on there. You don't have to color it. I did color it on this one. And I don't have any blue Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to use the Tri-Blend Spectrum Noir Vintage Blue. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the dark. Just go kind of over the lines. Tail feathers. Switch to the medium. Kind of did the medium up in here. Maybe a little bit on his wings. And then move on to the light. Oh, sorry. I know if this is your first time watching, I don't normally hack all over the camera. I do apologize. Okay. And then I'll use this light pumpkin pie. I'm going to take a drink here. How are you guys doing? You keeping up? And I was thinking you could do a similar box with different cutout shapes. Let me know if you can think of any other dies in that we could make a shaped box like this. Okay, now the flower, I said I was going to use the cherry cobbler. I'm going to use the dark just on the inside a little bit. The Stampin' Blends come in pairs. There's a light and a dark. I bought this cherry cobbler for when I did some Christmas cards. It's a really nice Christmas color with that mossy meadow. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the dark and try and just give a little bit of detail on the center. There we go. Okay, take the blue for these flowers, and I'm just trying to tie in the blue of the bird, so that's why I made these blue. You can make them whatever color that you want. Okay, and now we just need the green. Okay, and I'm using the, what I say, light mossy meadow. Okay. Okay, now we need to cut these out. So let's bring our stamp and cut machine again. And there is a die for the bird, and there's a die for the flowers. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to get this just how I want it. There we go. Okay. Let's run these guys through. Hopefully it'll stay nice. Okay, yeah, that cut out pretty nicely. And then the bird. The bird's not too bad. It's a little bit up, but I did a really good cutout of the bird on this one. It's perfectly centered. Okay. Now, we do also need, well, we don't need, but we're going to cut out these little flowers and then the leaves. So those don't have stamps that go with it. So I just use, actually, you know what I think I used? And maybe I'll just do that shortcut. I had cut like a bazillion of these from the Country Flowers, so let's just use these. I've already got them cut. 1, 2, 3 of these, and then I've got this. I've already got them cut, so let's go ahead and use those. But this set, if you just get the Country Birdhouse, does have these flowers here, 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 here. There's a lot of flowers to cut out, and actually, these are cut from those. There's a couple here that I did cut out that I didn't use on the other one. These ones I think might fit this stamp. That one might fit that stamp, and that one might fit that one. And then there's these leaves. But this one, the leaves, there's 2 leaves and then 3 individual leaves. Whereas in this set, you get the whole, like this whole pack. You get this. This has got a whole bunch of leaves together. A lot of leaves on this one, and then a lot of flowers. So that's why I have so many, because you cut out a whole bunch. So here you cut out 5, 3, 2, 2. So let's just use what we already have cut out. Okay. Now we can just put this all together. So I would start with the leaves and the flowers. And these ones, I just I put them all directly onto the box. On my card, I did pop these 2 up on dimensionals, so it's up to you. Let's put the leaf down. So I'm going to put the leaf kind of like that. So I'm not going to put glue on that end. So let me hold it from there. Make sure. but I'll put glue on the other pieces. Not a lot. Okay. Let's put this one down. Okay. And then let's put this flower down, glue it. Did put glue right on this tip over here, so that one's going to stick out a little bit. Let me kind of place this one so that okay, this one's going to wholly sit on the box, so I'm going to put glue on the whole thing. And then one more, this glue is going to go, it's going to go right there. Put it right there. Okay. I'm going to put this one like this. But before you do that, you want to make sure you have room for your bird. Yeah, I'm gonna have him sitting right on, I'm gonna have his feet on the wood piece here. There is a peg, so you could put, if you want to pop him up, like on the peg, you could do that. If you want to put a peg there. So I'm gonna put glue on him, but not on his face, because I think his face is gonna stick out a little bit. Okay. And then the last one is this, the flower. Mhm. And we're gonna try and fit him in. There we go. Oh, stuck to my finger. There we go. You want to hold it down a little bit so that it's, on there pretty good. Okay. And then on this one, I use, these are the pecan pie dots. The smoky slate pearls would be nice on here. I might use these ones. And you know why? Because since I'm not going to put this in an envelope, it doesn't matter that these are pretty big, tall. Otherwise, you could use these ones, earth tone shimmer gems. These ones have a very low profile. So I use them on this one, and they do shimmer really nicely on this flower bed. You don't have to put it on the center flowers, but it does make it look a little bit finished. So I use these smaller size ones and put it here. There we go. So this is a good time to use these because you don't have to worry about how tall of a profile they have. Let's try and get his tail feathers out of there. Okay, there we go. Okay, these are the basic gray and smoky slate pearls that goes with this set. Okay, I think that we're done with that, guys. That wasn't too bad, was it? There we go. And again, you can put, these are meant to put these nuggies in, not dog-friendly nuggies. I've been really protective to make sure Darcy doesn't get in here. They hold 5. These hold 5 nuggies if you do them like I did. So I'm thinking, like, wouldn't these be pretty on like an Easter table? You could put somebody's name or whatever and put their Easter candy at their place setting. Or if you have a spring tea, does anybody have a spring tea? You could make these as favors. These are make good favors to set, right at the place setting. Okay, so there's 5 there. Okay, or like I said, you could put a nail polish. You could put money, all different kinds of things in there. I'm gonna take one of these out. So I think if I do that, I'll be able to. There you go. Aren't those cute? What do you guys think? Was that fun? Did anybody think of any die sets that we could use besides the birdhouse that would um, be nice to make a box out of? You could just do a square. I wonder if you could, it would be cute with the mushrooms. I mean, there's not a big mushroom, but if you make a square and put the mushrooms like a landscape, that would be really pretty. But I love this card too. And there are sentiments that come with this set. Hello, friend. Happy birthday. Hoping you have the best day ever. If you're going to use this for Mother's Day, I recommend this set. She's the greatest. It's got Mother's Day, Grandma, Mom, even Dog Mom, um, all kinds of things. You could put, Mom or something on here real easy. This says sending love. So lucky to know you. Sending love would be cute on here, on the card. Maybe not on, unless you send that in the mail. You could send that in the mail, but you'd have to put it in a box. But I really love this set. Okay, are there any questions? Any questions, guys? Here's if you want to take a snapshot of the size and the scoring marks again. And this piece is 3.5 by 5.5. If you want it to be the size that I made. Yeah, Christmas tree would be pretty. I don't have a Christmas tree die. I'm just looking at these. You could make a TV set and use it. It would have to be coming out that way. But you can make the box going up and down. This is the one I did today for my video. Sneak peek of my YouTube hop video. Magic card. Magic card. But yeah, you could do the TV. That would be cute. A little box. Oh, that would be so cute with the peeps, Don. That's you could make the box a little bit bigger, I think. But you do the same thing, but just, if you want the box to be 2 inches wide or 2.5 inches wide, just like make these 2.5 inches wide, and then make these like 2 inches wide, or however much you want. So if you would say you're going to make your box 2 inches by 2.5, you would need 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 inches, and then the half inch for that, so like 9.5. And then however tall you wanted would be cute. Okay, next week we are making these cards using the Year of Flowers. It's a new set. But I'm going to show you how to watercolor with your ink pads. So here I watercolored with my ink pads. So another way just to use your ink. But aren't these cute? I used the corrugated paper, or the corrugated embossing folder for there. So that's next week. Hopefully by next week I'm feeling better. My coughing fit, I can tell it's gone away. It kind of comes and goes. I don't know what it is, but I could tell it's gone after I had that bad fit, and then I'll be okay for a little while. Okay. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining me today. I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to check out that last chance set. I mean, basically, almost everything in this catalog is being retired. There's only a few things in here that are going to be carried over, except the basic things like the ink pens and the stamps and all of that. But most of the stamp sets are going to be gone. All of the sweets. So go through this again. Here's the one that I'm doing for my YouTube hop this month. This Spotlight on Nature was really, really popular. Everybody loved these dies. I never did get them. And this was really popular, the Seaside Wishes. So anyway, take a look at this. If you are in the Chicago area, I am having a crafty night where we're going to put together some kits, Stampin' Up! Kits. It is on May 8th, Thursday, May 8th. All you need to do is pick out a kit that you would like to put together. Let me know. I will order it. You can Venmo me the money. And then we're going to have a fun night. Probably have some wine and cheese and crafting. So check that out. Okay, see you guys next week. Bye.